What are the most important quality control checks I should be looking for during construction? This was a question that was asked of me the other day that I wanted to answer here. So that's what we're doing now. And actually, I've got a pretty good answer for this because there's a perspective that we can have that will really focus us in the right direction. Because here's the thing, if we try to be perfect with everything outside of safety, we won't be excellent, we won't get much done. So we have to know how to invest our time. In fact, real quick, there was once a project executive that I respected, I still respect immensely, that said, Jason, imagine you have 100 energy units. And just like you're investing in the stock market or with a home, you can choose where to invest them, but you only have 100 of them. And that analogy helped me to realize as construction leaders, we only have so much energy, time, and focus. So we have to know where to invest our time and energy, and it can't be everywhere. So we have to know which energy units to invest and where to invest them when it comes to quality. We're going to cover that right now, so stay with us. All right, let's jam out. I love this topic. So I'm going to cover a couple of things here that I think will be really remarkable for you. The quality process that I like, which is the trade partner preparation process, really works in this pattern. It works plan, build, finish. So I'll just do plan, build, finish. So here's how it works. The first meeting that where we interact with trades is the buyout meeting. And then the next meeting is the pre-mobilization. That's before the trade partner is mobilized, obviously. But this is where we ask them for all of the things that we need, whether it's safety or quality documentation, submittals, RFIs, whatever the thing might be. Then the next meeting is your pre-con meeting or your pre-install, and then your first in place inspection or your first in place mock-up. And then when you finish, this is where you do your follow-up inspections and your final, and I'll just do FIN inspection. And this is the process. So there's 6 steps. I learned this at Hensel Phelps. I call this the trade partner preparation process because we're preparing the trade partner to build, but we're not preparing them to build and start. We're preparing them to finish. Plan, build, finish. Don't do anything. I'm not lecturing you. I love you. Don't do anything or prepare anything unless it's preparing to finish. Not prepare to start, prepare to finish. So this is the method that I really like. Now in these meetings, the key things that I will focus on, not only when I'm doing, and I'm going to focus on first in place and follow-up for answering the question of what things should I focus on from a quality standpoint. In order to get here, I will constantly be reviewing the owner's top 10. So in the buyout meeting, I will already have the owner's top 10, and the pre-mob, the owner's top 10, and then the pre-con meeting, the owner's top 10. And then when I go out here on the site, I will remind the crew, these are the owner's top 10 things. And in the follow-up inspections, the same things. Here's the deal. When I've done this before, in fact, it's not always 10. Like the last owner that I worked with on a project, they had 5. It was the neighbors, it was safety, it was waterproofing. I will just stop there. But there were 5 key things that they cared about. And I communicated that everywhere we went. And so they would know, they want a safe job site, they want to take care of the neighbors, they want to take care of the waterproofing, right? And obviously, cost and schedule were the other ones. But I would remind people of that everywhere we went. And we did a great job when it came to waterproofing. And so the key thing to focus on when you're inspecting, make sure that you're looking at the owner's top 10. If we don't get that right, it doesn't matter whether or not the project's finished or not, because it won't be a great experience for the owner. Same thing with the inspector. They'll have their pet peeves. In addition to the owner, loop in the inspector there as well. What does the inspector really care about? And talk about that throughout this process. So in addition to the owner's top 10, what is the inspector's top 10? I remember working with an inspector in Tucson, Arizona. Really cared about reinforcing, really cared about the concrete and making sure that we were not over our limits or that we adjusted the slump in any way. We wouldn't have done it anyway, but really cared about that. And really, really cared that all of the inspection report comments were done in 24 hours. And so if we didn't communicate that, we wouldn't have been successful. So when you're out there inspecting in the field, right here, which is what this video is talking about, owner's top 10, inspector's top 10. Now, when you do the pre-con meeting, you should leave there with what I call visual feature of work board or document that basically says, okay, for this feature of work, here's the picture and bullet points, picture and bullet points, picture and bullet points. Basically, this is the, hey, this is what we agreed upon to install. That's what you should use up here from an inspection standpoint. These are the key things from the pre-con. That's the purpose of the pre-con. If you don't have the pre-con, you don't have this visual, you'll be checking everything or you won't check it at all. And it really doesn't work. So one of the key things you have to do is check the items from the pre-construction meeting. The outside of that, this will capture everything. Outside of that, you're looking for items from the testing and inspection register. Now, ChatGPT can do this for you if you have the right prompt. I used to say ChatGTP. I think I got that right. ChatGPT. Anyway, you type that into ChatGPT with the right prompt. You can literally input the specifications and basically say, hey, ChatGPT, love you, hugs and kisses. I'm just kidding. That just wastes power on the grid. But say, hey, ChatGPT, will you do me a favor? Take these plans and specs. I want you to highlight any item that needs to be inspected, any item that needs to be tested. Give me the spec section, the item, a full description, the inspection frequency, action items, and put that into a log for me and it'll spit it out. Or you can ask a project engineer or an office engineer to do it. This is how we used to do it. Basically, this will give you a full log of all of the things that need to be inspected. The things that will come out of here will be like window testing, waterproofing testing, the sanitary sewer system testing at the end, exterior, did I ever say window testing? I can't remember. But anyway, the big stuff here, the big testing items. You'll want to make sure that when you're out in the field doing your inspections that you're doing anything that's current with the testing and inspection register. I recommend putting this on your team weekly tactical agenda to cover every week. And so that's the majority of what I approach from a quality standpoint in the field from a focus standpoint. So, but let me give you another framework, and I think this is going to be so remarkable that I'll probably get a like and a subscribe from you. At least I hope so. Here's the deal. You never want to forget to test soils. If you get the wrong compaction and that soil starts to settle under your foundation, you'll have big, big problems. Or if you have dewatering problems. Concrete. It's never too late until it's hard and gray. You need to check, double, triple check before you place concrete. Whatever you have to fix with concrete is going to be anywhere between 6 and 12 times the original cost to fix. If it's concrete, if it's hard and gray, you make sure that's a quality focus. Waterproofing. If you don't QC it as you go, it's going to be a nightmare to find later. I know of situations where they've had to rip off the entire exterior, not for buildings I've built, by the way, from a reputation standpoint. I'm saying I've seen and consulted on projects where the original builder had to rip off the entire exterior, excavate around the entire basement, or excavate over the top of an entire underground parkade because the waterproofing wasn't properly inspected and it cost millions of dollars. If it has to do with waterproofing, you make sure that's a focus. Closed. If it's in wall or above ceiling, or in a chase, anything that gets closed needs to be heavily inspected and documented because you don't have access to it later, and anything that deals with life safety. So actually, I've never heard of this before. Prepping this video, this came to me, and I think this is like super impactful. I keep resisting the urge to write a smiley face. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But anyway, like this is a gem. This is like your focus needs to be owner's top 10 inspectors, items from the pre-con, testing and inspection, and these key areas. And if you do that, you'll win with quality, because if you try and do everything perfectly, you literally will become overwhelmed and you can't do it. So I'm going to turn this into a visual on a blog post. And then the other thing I want to say, in the book, Elevating Pre-Construction Planning, I go through how to go through this process in detail with full agendas. Reach out to me if you want it. We also cover this in the Super PM Bootcamp. But really, I just hope you enjoyed this video and that I get that like and subscribe. Love you. On we go.